to embrace the subject.
Well, I hope, first of all, I hope you're all comfortable hearing English. I don't know, they asked me to do it in English, so I said why not? I'm comfortable talking English more than in Ukrainian and Russian because I spent a couple of years abroad, so I hope you are comfortable listening to me. And I hope you had a great lunch. Did you? Okay, this is good. Okay. Is this like the presentation mode?
Sorry. Alex, jak to? Coś jasno, słodkie tutaj.
A couple of things happened in this presentations today. At least I have slides. The first guy in the mainstream didn't have slides at all. I don't envy him, but at least I have slides. It's working just a few seconds ago.
Ajo. Nie.
Okay. Okay, so everybody's set, comfortable, all right? Yeah. Okay. So first of all, thanks all of you for coming. I'm really honored to see so many people came to this presentation because there are other two streams going on. So yeah, huge thanks to you guys for you to come here, yeah, and listen to me. I'm not gonna talk any rocket science here. It's gonna be just really a simple presentation. Maybe it's really good that it's happening right after lunch, that you're more or less relaxed, you know, gonna consume it really well. Okay, so I'm basically gonna tell you about a bit about myself, give a little bit of self-introduction, then I'm gonna tell you why I myself went abroad, then I'm gonna tell you about the benefits of studying abroad that I can think of, and then about the opportunities abroad that students have. And I'm gonna finish with a little conclusion. So yeah, short about myself. Yeah, I was born in Mykolaiv, Ukraine, which is in the south part of Ukraine. Pretty sure most of you know. And then during my high school years, I studied in Ukrainian Physics and Math Lyceum in Kiev, focusing on physics and math. I participated in different Olympiads in physics and math, and did a couple of research projects and stuff. And then after I finished my high school, I went to university also in Kiev, and I started my degree in applied physics. But yeah, I didn't quite like it. And then after 3 semesters, I decided to quit. Okay, and yeah, then I went to South Korea. Yeah, just quite random, but yeah, there was this opportunity for me to go to South Korea. So I was like, yeah, why not? I'm gonna try. Yeah, and then in South Korea, I started a degree in mechanical engineering. And then after 1 year, I was quite interested in business. So I took a second degree in business. So after that, I started to study both degrees simultaneously. And then during my years in South Korea, I also did exchange program in Hong Kong, University of Science and Technology. And then also last year, I studied 1 semester in Germany, in Munich. Well, and then during my years in South Korea, I also participated a lot in student organization, did a couple of part-time jobs to earn some money. And then yeah, I also gave private English lessons to Korean kids. And then I did research projects, and then I also went to a few conferences in Singapore, Japan, and Australia. And right now, I'm interning in Google Ukraine, working in marketing team, focusing on B2C and brand, whatever, yeah. So yeah, and this is a bit about myself, and now I'd like to tell you about the things that motivated me to go and, you know, to change my mind and travel, like, across the world to South Korea and started my degree there. So there were a couple of reasons behind it. And the first one was my desire for personal growth. You see, when when I studied in Kiev in university, I didn't really feel was challenging enough. I didn't really feel I was developing. Part of the reason probably is because my high school was really good in physics and math, so it gave me a really strong background in this subject. And then when I entered university, all the courses were pretty easy for me. And then also the people that I studied with were also almost the same, because like I had my student group was composed of students from my high school. So I was surrounded by the same people again. I was studying the same stuff again, and well, it wasn't even difficult. So I didn't really spend much time studying. First semester I did a lot of partying and drinking, what students do, yeah. But after one semester you kind of get tired of it. So I was basically doing nothing. If I think about it right now, I was spending most of the time cooking. And I didn't really feel I'm developing much. And the students' years, I think, well, this is a time when I have to develop myself, to prepare for the future, for my future career and stuff, and I'm cooking. What the hell? Yeah, so this was the first reason why I decided to go abroad. And then the second reason, I wanted to learn English. At that time, I couldn't speak English at all. When I did my interview for the university in South Korea, I don't know how I survived it, seriously. You know what I did? I thought about the questions they're gonna ask me, and then I wrote down answers. And I was really lucky because out of 10 questions, 8 I guessed. So it was telephone interview. So when they asked me questions, I just read, from the paper. And I was really lucky that 8 questions I guessed correctly. They asked me 2 more, but well, I managed to handle it somehow, and I was lucky enough to get in. So yeah, and then when I came to South Korea, I had really big difficulties at the beginning. The whole education was in English, and then I wasn't really prepared much. I had a language barrier. I couldn't talk to people properly. Yeah, but after 1 month, there was no problems at all. Once you immerse yourself into an environment where you have to talk English all the time, it's just natural that after 1 month, there is no problem at all if you communicating, understanding, no problem at all. So yeah, this was the second reason. And then the third reason was job opportunities. You see, I'm pretty sure all of you know that in Ukraine, after you have a degree in applied physics, there's not many things you can do. I wanted to see myself successful in the future. I wanted to be successful. I wanted to earn money, and then I didn't really see how it can happen in Ukraine after I finished my degree in applied physics. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go abroad. I heard there are more opportunities over there, so why not to try? So I did, but see, now I'm working in Ukraine. But yeah, I didn't finish my degree actually in South Korea. I still have 1 more semester to go. I took a leave of absence, academic break, it's called in Ukraine, and then I started to work in Google. Yeah, so I'm gonna finish my internship and then gonna go back to South Korea for that 1 semester, and then I don't know when I'm gonna end, where I'm gonna end up working. Maybe in Ukraine, because I like Google Ukraine a lot, yeah. But also maybe somewhere else. Anyways, yeah, there are, turns out there are many more benefits of studying abroad, and I didn't even think of them. I just thought of those 3. Those 3 things I just mentioned motivated me to go, but actually I got much more after I went abroad. And the first huge benefit is my network and friends. You see, after I studied for 4 years in South Korea and in Hong Kong and Germany, participated in a couple of conferences, I've got pretty big network. And you see here I highlighted the countries where I can say I have friends. As a friend, I define a person who can host me if I come to the country. So if I highlight the countries where I know people, it'll be almost all yellow. Yeah, but I decided not to do it yet. So here is the map of countries where I have friends. Huh? Enough? Yeah, you see, I don't have that many friends in Africa yet. Something to work on, so I don't know. Yeah, and well, this is really something you can get when you study abroad, because once you once you exit Ukraine, like there are like people from all over the world coming, and then you get to know them. Now, when I was in South Korea, I also was like a captain of the international sports club. So maybe this is a part of the reason why I got to know so many people. Because in my university, we had like really many exchange students from all over the world, and many of them played football. So I got to know all of them. And then also through student activities and different exchange programs, you know, the network grows and grows and grows. And now I know some Googlers all around the world as well. Yeah. So this is really like I think the best benefit I got after I went abroad. And then the second one is I think I'm now more culturally aware, and like my interpersonal skills got better. Why? Because again, when you go abroad, I didn't really talk much to the people from Ukraine or Russia. I try to talk more to people from all over the world, so that I can understand the culture better and like the peculiarities of the culture in each country. And this is really helpful because so I can do an analogy with boxing. When you train with different partners, each of them has different style. You kind of you get much better. So now, like after I talk to so many people all around the world, like it's much easier for me to find approach to people from different countries, and I can even see the effects in my job in Google, because I work a lot in a team with teams all over the world, and I got some things done which people didn't expect from me. Yeah, my manager can confirm, he's over there. Yeah, so it is really helpful, because when I was studying in science in high school in Kiev, I was focusing on math and physics, and I was talking a lot with sort of geeks. Yeah, I was a geek, and I am a geek. Yeah, and this is not the people who are so great in communicating with people, right? But I got so much better after I went abroad and talked to so many people. So this is another really big benefit I can think of. And then another benefit is an eye catcher on my resume. You see, when people look at my resume, they see 4 universities in 4 different countries, in Ukraine, in South Korea, in Hong Kong, and in Germany. And this is really, I think, something that catches the attention of people who review my resume. So it instantly, gives me sort of advantage, because they remember me. Imagine an HR person that gets 200 applications, and all of them are the same, but then there is one guy who studied in 4 countries, right? Yeah, I mean, there is something to remember. It's not like I'm bragging or something, just sharing. Yeah, and I think this is also a part of the reason why I got into Google Ukraine.
That's not true.
Part of the reason. Okay, don't discredit me. Yeah. And then I also did a lot of traveling while studying abroad, so this is also a huge benefit for me. I enjoyed traveling a lot, and then I didn't really spend much money on this, because I did traveling when I was in the country where I was studying. So for example, when I did my exchange program in Germany, I traveled around. I was in Switzerland, and I was in Italy, France, Spain, Czech, all over Europe, and because it's quite cheap and quite close to travel. And then when I was on a conference in Singapore, of course I traveled in Singapore, and then on the way back to South Korea, I dropped by Thailand and spent 2 weeks in Thailand, because it was also cheap. Yeah, and then I had a conference in Australia just this summer before coming to Ukraine. Yeah, so I traveled in Australia a bit as well, and I was lucky enough to get scholarships from my university, so I didn't even spend much money for this. So sort of free traveling, which is also pretty nice if you enjoy traveling. Yeah, and then another benefit is, when you have this sort of experience, then it is something to tell during your interview. This is what I did when I had my interviews with Google. Yeah, and also there is something to tell girls when you talk to them. But this is another story. And now I'd like to move to the examples of the opportunities that students have abroad, which maybe some of them you know, some of them you didn't think of, but I just want to show you that there are really a lot of them, and I'll encourage you to use them. So yeah, the first opportunities for students is of course studying. I here focused more on engineering because I suppose most of you guys study science or engineering, right? Because otherwise you wouldn't come. Yeah, so for bachelor, like I think yeah, the least opportunities is for bachelors, but still there are some, and I'm one of the examples. So like the top Asian universities actually offer scholarships for international students, and they usually have degrees in English. So I'm an example. Like my university is the best engineering school in South Korea, and they offer degree in English and they offer scholarship. So once you get in, you get a scholarship which covers your tuition, and they pay me $350 a month, which is more or less all right. But then the university in Hong Kong where I studied, they also offer scholarship for international students, and the degree is also in English. Also, and they also have it in Singapore and in Taiwan and other Asian countries. And also the universities in USA, some of them have scholarships for international students. I know a guy from Zimbabwe who studies in MIT, which is the best engineering school in the world. And then yeah, I know a couple of guys from where is they from? From Asia that they study in Stanford. My friend from University in Kiev, he entered Duke, which is like also one of the best schools in USA, and he also got scholarship. And like another opportunity is the European schools. Most of them are actually all the schools in Germany are free. If you didn't, in case you didn't know, yeah, you have to pay for your living expenses, but there is you have an opportunity to work. So most of the students that study in Germany, they work to support themselves. So this is one opportunity for you as well. But the problem with this one is that mostly they offer degrees in local language. So if you go to Germany for bachelor, it's likely that you will have to study in German, and if you go to France, you'll likely to have to study in French. And then yeah, for master degree, situation is much better because most of the top EU schools offer degree in English, especially for engineering. So there is really a lot of opportunities for you. And also there is this Erasmus Mundus program. I'm sure some of you heard about it. I have a couple of friends participating in it, and it's really cool because you spend like one semester you spend in one country, then for another semester you move to another country, then for another semester you move to another country. So you get to explore more and to study in many universities, which is also great. And then the top US schools, they offer so-called assistantships for master degree. It means that when you go there as a master student, you work as a researcher, plus you help professors do sort of like a job of teaching assistants, and it covers you all the tuition expenses. So if you're lucky enough to get there, I mean, you're covered. It's all good. And then again, schools in Asia offer scholarship for international students as well. And then, well, if you go for PhD, it's like endless opportunities because most of the schools abroad offer scholarships for PhD. So you should definitely try it if you want to do a PhD. So this is about studying. And then there is also a lot of opportunities for internships abroad. And well, there are many places you can find them. And actually, I did this research just yesterday night. Yeah, so it's not really difficult to find. Well, some of the things I knew. For example, like I used the site Indeed to find a few internship opportunities in Europe, and I had a couple of offers. And then I used LinkedIn. It's also like you can find any internships in LinkedIn as well, because like global companies post their job posting on LinkedIn. And then you can use also the university job portals, like the university in Germany where I studied in. It's called Technical University of München, TUM. They have the job portal, which is really, really convenient to find internships for students. And actually, like I did find one internship there, and I had an offer 2 years ago, but I had a problem with visa, so I didn't make it. But not a big deal. And yeah, I also used the job portal for startups in Berlin, which is a really great site. They also accept a lot of students from all over the world. Yeah, and then you have the huge global companies like Google and Facebook and others, which the companies hire international students all over the world as well. So you can try that. And then apart from studying and internships, more of a serious stuff, you can also do traveling. And there are a couple of options that are more or less affordable that I use myself because I don't have that much money. Yeah, and like the first one is couch surfing. I'm not sure if you heard about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did? Great, yeah. So basically, for those of you who didn't, it's basically when you go to a country, you find somebody who would like to host you for free. So a person basically in the country invites you to their home, and then and that's it, you know. So this is really affordable options, and I traveled like that to Switzerland and Norway and Italy, well, basically all around Europe, and it didn't cost me much money. And I also did hitchhiking in Europe. I traveled from Munich to Croatia without taking any bus or any plane, whatever. Yeah, just solely on hitchhiking, and it didn't cost me any money as well, and I got to know a lot of people. And also there is this work and travel program, which I'm sure all of you heard, but maybe not of you heard that you can do it not only in US, but also in Canada or Australia. And I personally recommend you Australia because they pay a lot of money. In Australia, the lowest wage is $20 per hour. Australia, which is 1-to-1 to USD. $20 per hour, yeah. So in US it's 6 or 7. In Australia it's 20. So you better go to Australia and look at some kangaroos, you know. Huh?
It's also much more expensive.
It is more expensive to live there, but still you get after you spend money for living, you still get a lot of money. Yeah. So I highly recommend you to do that as well. So yeah, I guess, this is basically all I can tell you about the opportunities and the stuff. And I would like to finish with this, you're all, are you students, by the way?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I study applied physics in Taras Shevchenko University.
Great. Our people here. So yeah, I mean, actually, not only students have these opportunities, but why I highlighted students is because when we are students, we have a lot of time and a lot of flexibility. Like if I had wife and family, I wouldn't be able to, travel around Europe for 1 month, like hitchhiking, or I wouldn't be able to go to Germany for half a year, or I wouldn't be able to terminate my degree and move to South Korea, or I wouldn't be able to just to take a leave of absence in South Korea and move to Ukraine suddenly. So this is something that grown-up people with families cannot do, and this is something that we as students can do. So I encourage you to use these opportunities and go and try studying abroad, alright?
Yeah.
Thank you. And yeah, if you have any questions, please, okay.
What do you think about the following? While a lot of young and smart people leaves Ukraine and to live somewhere else, the country will never stop to grow.
Yeah, this is a
It's
good.
not patriotic from my point.
Okay. But you see, I myself came back to Ukraine and with some assets and learnings, and I think I became a better person. I myself right now not sure if I'll leave again. Maybe I'll stay in Ukraine. But again, this is the thing for everybody. I mean, everybody has to think for himself. What he values more, patriotic feelings or desire to be maybe a bit more rich. But I'm sure that with great mindset and with great skills, you can earn money in Ukraine as well. I didn't see it before, but now I see it really. So I mean, you're welcome to come back to Ukraine after you study abroad. Yeah.